Hello, 585ers. This is your Class 5 update for Thursday night, February the 4th. We are going to move on from Dr. Fullen to another theoretical framework, actually three of them, that I think fits very nicely together. Let me explain. Dr. Fullen basically, in those 4 chapters that we read, gave us a 50,000-foot view of the situation of technology integration. And in fact, I'm looking right here at his quote about technology integration. The integration of technology and pedagogy to maximize learning must meet 4 criteria. It must be irresistibly engaging, elegantly efficient, challenging but easy to use, ubiquitous, and steeped in real-life problem solving. And we have done some nice work. I'm very, very impressed with your infographics explaining those 4 chapters. But what we're going to do come Thursday night is we're going to move into another arena that builds upon Fullen, and we're going to be looking at 3 different theoretical frameworks that have to do with technology integration, with pedagogy and content. We're going to be looking at TPAC, SAMR, and CAM. As I call it, welcome to the alphabet soup. By the way, I hope you're noticing some of the Easter eggs that I put into these modules. Like there's a link here that says make your own alphabet soup at, well, actually it's a sign, at this link, and it'll take you in there. It's just something that I put in there for you that you can play with. But what we will focus on for Thursday night is I'm going to take you through the world of TPAC, SAMR, and CAM. I will not get through it all, and that's why we're going to take 2 whole class periods to do this. TPAC is the interplay of technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. It is a way of analyzing lessons that employ technology to see if integration is really happening and if pedagogy and content are supported by the technology use. SAMR is a way of looking at how technology is employed, and it looks at it from these 4 definitions of substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. Substitution being like using a word processor instead of pencil and paper. What we are going to be exploring is TPAC gives us a way of analyzing a class that's using technology. SAMR basically defines how the technology is being used. And CAM is a cognitive apprenticeship modeling. And what it is about is, are you modeling use of technology, or are you modeling the product? And the technology, as Fullen would say, should be transparent and ubiquitous. So we've got ourselves a pretty big process here and a project that's for us to do. We're going to use a new Web 2.0 tool, but we're going to keep doing our demonstration of it through our old friend, the Edmodo space. So you'll be comfortable, I think, with this process. But we're going to be using something called a blend space. I love blend spaces because with a blend space, you can be very linear, sequential, or you can just have each panel in your blend space represent a different idea. And as you'll see here in the directions, it says, we need you to build a blend space presentation by registering, and you can see there's the link. And then once you go into that, register yourself, use yourself as a student, please, and you may use then the code, HJOD, that will drop you into our class. By the way, If you like Blend Space and would like to use it with students, you are more than welcome to. You can log in using my super password and username, and you can create your own class in there. You can get your kids into that class, and nobody will see them unless you want them to. And you'll find that Blend Space is a really unique product. When we get finished with our Blend Space, which we're going to then use the TPAC CHED, and you see the link down there, we're going to be looking at a lot of stuff. You will have the opportunity then to create a Blend Space that you will put over into your Edmodo. Wow, that is a lot, isn't it? Let me give you a sense of what it's going to look like. So here's a Blend Space that was created. It's called Cells Are Us. And as you can see, you have this marvelous collection of pictures, text, video. You could even put, and we won't do this for our particular use of it, but you can create quizzes within the Blend Space. So your kids can basically go through, receive information, and you can then do a formative assessment to see how they're doing. It is so easy to use. You won't have any trouble understanding how to use it. It'll probably take me 10 minutes to show you how to use it. It's essentially over here on the right-hand side are all your resources for finding things. You can use just text inside the boxes, but you can also then add in these various resources over here. Everything from YouTube videos to Google searches. You can use Google Images. And here's the other cool thing it does. When you do searches for images, it finds copyright safe images for you to use. So you don't have to worry about, am I using stuff that someone has a copyright on? Will they come back and sue me? Isn't that great? I love that ability of it. You can put in websites that you can use. So I'm not going to go into details about how we're going to put stuff in here. I think you'll see as we go through the TPAC and the SAMR and the CAM, things will start turning in your head about how you're going to help me understand your understanding about how those three fit together in this idea that Fullen has so eloquently put out for us about technology integration. And then finally, what we will do is we will share it. We will take the embed code. You see this coming, don't you? We will copy the embed code. We will go over to our Edmodo class, and I'm just in an Edmodo here. And you know the routine. My Blend Space by Steve. And then I'm going to come down here to the link. I'm going to paste in that the embed code that I got. And of course, I've got to give it a name, so I'll give it it tries to put a name in. Isn't that nice? Blend Space is really cool. And I'll tell you why. Because Blend Space and Edmodo actually sync up with each other. So if you had an Edmodo account, you could actually put the Blend Space in as an app that kids could use inside the Edmodo account. Folks, the amount of things that you can do with technology with your students just gets better and better and better. Okay, and so now I'm going to attach that, and then I'm going to send it. And of course, just like we saw last week with the infographic, now I have my Blend Space right here. When I click on it, up it comes. Now remember how I told you a Blend Space can actually have and you can actually put a quiz as a part of one of your boxes in here? So stop and think about that. You could have this in an Edmodo site that your students would go to as a part of their, Edmodo is used a lot for kids doing homework, turning in things, keeping track of things, but you could have formative assessments in there as a part of a teaching Blend Space. Isn't that cool? And then, of course, we know how to get it out of Edmodo now and over into our live text assignment. So I think you're going to have fun with this. This is easier. You don't have to do, oh yes, about the reading. This is all you have to do as far as reading goes. What I'd like you to do for Thursday night's class is to go here inside Module 2, click on TPAC, and in here I have all 5 of the parts of a 45-minute presentation that the guys did. And what I'd like you to do is just watch this. It's a marvelous presentation. And actually, you can jump around in the presentation. You don't have to go from, part 1 to part 5. I'm going to basically do a lot of referencing back to this in my presentation I'm going to do for you. So take a look at that. And then under the SAMR link, guess what? We had the same kind of video for you to watch, except it's a lot shorter. And you can look at the analogy because it's just so easy to understand. Or if you want to, you can look at the SAMR and 120. These 2 videos will give you everything you need to know. And by the way, SAMR is becoming a part of the lexicon in JCPS. People, when they're talking about technology use in schools, they're starting to use this acronym of SAMR to better help them understand how they want to use the technology in the schools. You are coming in as someone who understands Fullen and system changes. And now you're going to be able to come in and speak intelligently about what does TPAC and SAMR teach us. And finally, CAM. You already know CAM. You've been taught CAM. This guy is John Abbott. And John Abbott is a famous education expert. He's right up there with the big names. And Abbott does a really nice job, simple job. And in fact, here it is if you want to see it. Modeling, scaffolding, coaching, reflection, exploration, articulation. You've been told this stuff. This is not something that it is all that new to you. So there it is. That's what we're going to do Thursday night. I look forward to seeing everyone. I think this is going to be challenging in some sense, but you already have built a fairly sophisticated use of technology already. And so now we're just moving through a very Fullen-like understanding that our next steps will be that the technology that we already understand become transparent to what the next assignment will be. Look forward to seeing you Thursday night. Again, as always, if you need to reach out to me, you know how to get me. Text are better than anything else. See you Thursday night, everybody.